no matter what it takes, we're trying to find touchdowns. One of the things I always say to our guys, touchdowns only, touchdowns only, touchdowns only, touchdowns only. And I think that we've been clutch down there in the red zone every time we've gotten down there. So I think that we got to keep that mentality up. We got a long season ahead of us, and we got to stay the course.
Russ, let me ask you this. After the bye, you play Kyler Murray and the Cards. The NFC West is ridiculous. It's arguably the toughest division in football. What worries you most? Or which team, rather?
What worries me? What worries me? Nothing worries me. I think that, the reality is that when I got here to NFC West in 2012, every year it seems like NFC West is the best division in football. So, we're used to playing great teams. Obviously, Arizona's, really special. Kyler's been balling, and love to see him doing his thing. The Rams, they're playing great, like the Rams again, like they've have in the past few years. And the 49ers, they're always tough to play too as well. So, I think that for us, our focus, honestly, has got to be about us and how we prepare. And honestly, if anything worries me or gets me a little bit nervous, is this whole COVID thing, to be honest with you guys. I mean, this whole thing is, it's bye week right now. We can't even leave. I'm normally chilling, kicking my feet up in Mexico or something right now, Stephen A. But, right now I'm in the house and just getting ready for the next week.
Well, there's worse places to be, Russell, particularly considering the company you keep with that wonderful family and wonderful wife of yours. Now, let me get to this point, okay? DK Metcalf, I'm a huge, huge fan of this guy. Can you talk to us about him, your relationship with him, and more importantly, where do you put him when you think about the receivers you've had at your disposal throughout your career in Seattle?
Well, the first thing I'll say, Stephen, with DK, he came in as a rookie last year. The kid's only 22 years old. He came in as a rookie last year. He sat in the front of the room right next to me. I mean, we took notes. He asked me all these different questions. He was professional before he walked into the building. I think a lot of that's because of his dad and him being around NFL ball playing before and stuff like that. And so he's been spectacular. I mean, we spent a lot of time this offseason together, just one-on-one, trying to be careful and safe as much as possible. We went down to Mexico. We spent hours upon hours just trying to perfect the little details and making sure everything was right. And if it wasn't right, we're going to run it again. And that's how that championship caliber level of focus has to be every time you step on the field. And he brings that every time. And that's what I love about him. He loves the game. He's passionate, wants to do it right. He's constantly learning. Obviously he's a freak of nature, can make every play. And he's been special for us in the clutch. I think the thing that, when you think about the players that I've played with, I don't think anybody's ever played with a guy like him in terms of his size, his stature, his ability, his physical nature, you can really see him step up in some clutch games. You think about, how he played in the Patriots game against some great corners. Obviously, Gilmore's one of the best in the game. He stepped up to the table. He's always ready to play. And that's the thing about him that I love about him. And he came up huge in that game the other night, so he's definitely clutch, that's for sure.
Russ, you mentioned you were defending your defense earlier, talking about a goal line stand they made, and Bobby Wagner made a great play, and the defense held against Cam Newton and the Patriots. You guys got that win, and the presently injured Jamal Adams is obviously a prime playmaker. And once upon a time, you had a defense, the Legion of Boom, and you were like, as kind of Brady was early in his career, clutch quarterback, big on third down, steady Eddie. But the defense and the running game, when you thought of the Seahawks, you thought of the defense more. And that evolved over time to the point where over the last 4 or 5 years, maybe not in any given year, but over that time, you've been the best quarterback in football. Your name is always there. Other names change. So as Tom Brady evolved into like this all-world quarterback, so now you're MVP caliber and the team is more about you and the offense. That's where you've been and where you are. Where are you heading?
Hopefully I'm headed to a place where only few can go. I want to be the best in the world at what I do. I think for me, I wake up every morning with this desire, this passion, this focus, this understanding that it's a process. And so I think for us as a team, I think that the reality is we've got a long journey ahead of us. All I have ahead of me is this season, this next moment, staying neutral in the process, not getting too high, not getting too low. That's kind of always been my thing. But, I want to be one of the all-time greats at this game. And, I think that, in my younger years in terms of the Seahawks, it was great to have a great defense and and the Legion of Boom and all that. And I think one of the greatest experiences coming as a rookie playing against such great defensive players every day, Hall of Famers and great players, of the game. And so that was great for me. And I think that really helped prepare me for where I am today. And I think where I'm headed is, hopefully only a few people can ever go. And I think that's just kind of my mentality.
Well, you're on your way carrying the torch. Russ, before we let you roll here, I got to ask you this. So you're contending for a Super Bowl. You have a growing family. You're so philanthropic, and yet you added another project here on your to-do list, and that's your podcast. I know you wouldn't do that without an intention. Why was this important to you, and what can we expect?
Well, Danger Talk's been awesome. We've had an amazing time. Danger Talk Season 1, we've had Shaq at the first episode, him talking about his legacy, his experiences, his relationship with Kobe. Absolutely amazing conversation. Then next was John David Washington talking about his experiences of acting, playing ball, being the son of obviously Denzel Washington. And then we had Randy Moss talking about being one of the all-time greats, but how Bill Belichick basically cussed him out, and him and Tom Brady. For different reasons. You guys got to hear this stuff. And then we have Chris Paul talking about the NBA bubble and the experiences and everything else, and fashion and HBCUs to all the way to everything going on, racial injustice. And Candace Parker talking about being one of the best at what she does, but really her impact on women's sports. And so we're excited this week, actually, coming out. I'm actually interviewing him today. Coming out tomorrow is actually Ken Griffey Jr. and I. So
nice.
He's one of my favorite athletes of all time. So, the idea of Danger Talk is to really talk to some of the all-time greats of what they do, but also talk about how we can impact the world and how we can have these heavy conversations talking about, things that are going on in America, things that are going on in the world. I would love for you guys to subscribe. It's been awesome. Danger Talk has, and super exciting. It's been cool to learn from some of the greats, and I'm grateful just to be a part of the conversation in terms of what they're talking about and how they view the world.
Sounds incredible. Great.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.